Today, I would like to cover current information on membrane technology that can detect and remove COVID-19 by water and wastewater. Coronavirus virion is a virus that is enveloped specles and about 120 nanometer in diameter, which cerebral acute respiratory syndrome relation coronavirus in subgenesis sarbecovirus of the family coronavirus. Although it primarily affects the respiratory systems of patients, it has a wide array of symptoms, and gastrointestinal symptoms are common among patients. Also, a significant number of infected people are asymptomatic or have a weak evidence, but they can still infect the virus. In the first cases, it was stated that the transmission of SARS-CoV-2 occurred from patients who came into direct contact and sneezed or coughed. However, it has been reported that virus adhere on the surface and viability period of the virus may change depending on the surface feature. In addition, SARS-CoV-2 RNA also came across in human feces in the last 29% of patients tested, thus presenting the possibility of fecal-oral transmission. SARS-CoV-2 can be actively infected and multiple in gastrointestinal tract. It is understood that this possibility is strong assumption containing that the virus enters the cell via angiotensin converting enzyme 2 receptor because AHE2 receptor has been determined to be highly expressed in epithelial cells of the gastrointestinal tract. That is, SARS-CoV-2 can be actively infected and multiple in gastrointestinal tract. To date, many studies have been conducted showing that viruses are proliferating in the gastrointestinal tract and that 2 to 10% of COVID-19 patients have gastrointestinal symptoms, including diarrhea. It was reported that in feces PCR tests, the fecal nucleic acid became positive 2 to 5 days after respiratory samples became positive. The possibility of fecal tests was shown to continue for another 1 to 11 days after the respiratory samples were negative in 23% to 82% of patients. Significant rates of 20 infected individuals were asymptomatic, while detected SARS-CoV-2 RNA in feces of asymptomatic persons. These results show that fecal-oral transmission and the risks are also present in the healing process of patients. It shows that all common areas have a high risk factor too. 29 of 73 patients were positive for fecal PCR and 70 were fecal PCR positive, respiratory PCR negative. In addition, it is thought that the use of common swimming pool, which do not pay attention to hygiene needs, may also pose a risk in terms of contamination and sewage system and wastewater. From this point of view, the importance of the systems to be proposed for detecting and eliminating COVID-19 in wastewater and sewage system becomes apparent. However, our current knowledge of presence of viruses in wastewater will likely be limited due to the lack of provision environmental research focusing on viruses. Inactivating pathogens in water and wastewater is essential as it is among the risk factors affecting human health. In many studies, coronavirus has been found to remain in wastewater chronic free tap water, urine and feces for a long time. In the study made by the World Health Organization, it was stated that there is no evidence that the virus survived in wastewater, in drinking water. The study statement also states that it has more sensitive than most non-enveloped virus. In this case, exciting wastewater treatment plants are supplementary to inactive SARS-CoV-2. Although limited, some studies have reported that COVID stays in aquatic environments for a long time and retains its contamination depending on temperature and physicochemical factors. In order to remove the virus from these areas, it is first necessary to infect the virus in these areas. It is now that too much research is needed for identification and difficulty of these researches. Thus, wastewater-based epidemiology is thought to be an early warning system for public health and future viral disease outbreaks. Material and methods used, water filtration membrane are basically divided into for us reverse osmosis, nanofiltration, ultrafiltration, microfiltration. Given that the size of SARS-CoV-2 is 100 micrometers, membranes such as reverse osmosis, nanofiltration, and ultrafiltration should be suitable for its removal. Although SARS-CoV-2 is possible in untreated drinking water, no infection virus has been detected in drinking water scores. Nevertheless, it was shown to state RNA fragments of SARS-CoV-2 in a river in North Italy. It is thought to be influenced by the entrate sewage of the river. The atmosphere frequently utilizes membranes technology in wastewater treatment are microfiltration and ultrafiltration. Ultrafiltration is a membrane technology suitable for removing coronavirus with a area viral particle diameter of 120 nanometers and an envelope diameter of 18 nanometers. Their absorption to solid in wastewater may cause an increase in the removal of coronavirus. Studies involving microfiltration membrane with large pore size have also been conducted. Almost all pathogens, SARS-CoV-2 is a potentially daily virus for human, and some measures should be taken to conduct scientific test. For this, the Center of Disease Control and Prevention ensures guidelines for biosafety and COVID-19. In some studies, wastewater testing was performed using marina hepatitis virus instead of SARS-CoV-2 against the dangerous mutation in guidelines. Marina hepatitis virus is a member of the same genus as SARS-CoV-2. MHV was utilized as representative of human CoV in studies. Studies have been conducted examining the efficiency of MHV recovery from wastewater. The efficiency of 7 virus concentration method was evaluated in untreated wastewater samples. They found that ultrafiltration using centrifugal concentration device may also be approached for the removal of MHV. The difference in recovery was due to difference in surface area of the device used. Hence, more HV was lost through absorption to membrane via when there was interactive forces and or hydrophobic binding. And the result observation for MHV is similar to adenovirus. This case shows that a particle centrifugal concentration device can provide factor recovery for different classes of virus. To date, many studies have been carried out with membrane bioreactor treatment for different virus types. The temptation or size expansion is its primary the mechanism in the removal of viral and another pathogen. Nanometers also provide a separate height efficiency and recoverably water cleaning system that applies water loss and improve quality. It can be applied to bacteria and virus with a diameter of more than 80 to 60 nanometers, 50 then 50 to 60 nanometers. Nanometers are used to remove an inactive virus in wastewater emerge as a large area. The practice of nanomaterials is deeply connected with their physical properties. For water treatment, nanotechnology has some advantages such as time saving, height efficiency, spacing, and simple treatment methods. Silver multiple nanotubes, which STA 100% removal for several different viruses. A new MWCNT silver nanofilter, which nanofilter had high permeability. This nanofilter to successfully remove bacterial and viral pathogens from water at low pressure. A CNT silver nanofilter in which silver nanoparticles were stagnated at the CNT surface was not reported in former works. This filter has been manufactured using K filters such as the minor diameter and superior surface area of CNTs. The trend of CNTs collecting and forming highly porous substrates, the low melting point of silver nanoparticles, and the antibacterial activity of silver nanoparticles. Taking all its advantages, it is thought that their CNT silver nanofilter can provide satisfactory solutions for water treatment and their separation process. In addition, the lack of supplementary process to detrow virus and bacteria makes an essential benefit in terms of production cost. SARS-CoV-2 is a virus that produced an outbreak within a few months. Given that it initially only affects the respiratory system, it soon proved to be gastrointestinal. Although fecal-oral SARS-CoV-2 examination is not dominant, given that turning into a pandemic in less than 20 years is the third new coronavirus, preparations should be made to make a virus pandemic more difficult to transmit. There is need to more research relation to COVID's survival in wastewater and ecological water. Moreover, it is removal from wastewater is vital in minimizing human health risk associated with exposed to wastewater. However, scientists are strongly for further studies to determine the potential of environmental water contaminated with SARS-CoV-2 through wastewater treatment. Making more effort to improve wastewater treatment should be an urgent priority. Thank you for listening.